Hey everybody, welcome to Kyle and Not Kyle Show. I'm Kyle.
I'm not Kyle.
And we are doing our Week 7 recap and Week 8 predictions. We're already on Week 8 of the NFL. Seems like we just got started. Results of last week picks are in. I went 4-3, and he went 5-2. So we are tied at 23-19. Nice movie reference for anyone who gets who's seen Monsters Inc. there. Not Kyle having not seen that movie, which yes, there is some judgment coming towards you. So we're gonna get started with the Thursday night game. Kansas City Chiefs at the Denver Broncos. It was at Denver, but I don't think Denver ever showed up.
Yeah, that was an ass whooping.
Yeah, and obviously, as you said, the big news: Patrick Mahomes left early with an injury to his kneecap.
Dislocated knee.
Huh?
It was a dislocated knee.
Yeah. Which, if you watch, you saw him pop it back into place on the field. That was awesome. Not. Yeah, and it was one interesting note is this was the opposite leg that his ankle had been bothering him. It was the left ankle that had been bothering him. It was the right knee that he hurt. So yeah, they slowed down, but their defense did just fine against Denver. And Denver is now officially in sell mode, trading the last remaining player from their Super Bowl 50 roster, wide receiver Emmanuel Sanders, to
offensive. Von Miller played in that Super Bowl.
Sorry, yeah, Von Miller, I believe, is their only one left now. Sorry, the last offensive starter.
And they don't get rid of him.
No, I don't think they're getting rid of him. Yeah, they traded him to the San Francisco 49ers. What was that? Tuesday morning. So yeah, Broncos. Yeah, they're not in a good place right now, and it's not going to get any better until they fire John Elway. Which I've spoken to multiple. I've spoken to multiple. I've spoken to multiple Denver fans over the past year and a half now, and they've all grudgingly admitted that as great a player he is not a good general manager, talent identifier, whatever you want to say.
Here's my argument with that. Why not?
Lack of quarterback. There's been obvious deficiencies. They haven't really been able to get a decent run game outside. Philip Lindsay and Royce Freeman are doing okay, but they're not doing great.
Right.
Offensive line had some issues.
That to me is like saying, because if the GM gets all the fault, then the GM should get all the praise, which means Belichick's not really that good of a coach. It's always been the GM. It's not that it's coach. These are coaching problems.
Well, the problem. Well, you can't say that. You can't say that so much because what was it 2 years ago before they fired Vance Joseph? John Elway came out and said, "Yeah, I can't fire him when I'm the one that didn't get him the players he needed." And then did basically thought he did something, but they never should have signed Flacco. I don't know why they did that. He is over the hill, overrated, underperforming, overpaid.
I think they got him because who else were they going to get?
Well, you drafted a rookie. Start him.
He's hurt.
Is he hurt? Oh, he did get hurt. That's right. I think he's eligible to come back next week.
Okay, it's one of those, okay. Then their defense, going into the season, they were touted as like one of the top 5 defenses in the NFL. They haven't shown up.
No.
I just go, this is a coaching problem. I personally don't know why they ever got rid of. They should have, as soon as Kubiak was gone, went back and said, hey, John Fox, you want to come back?
Yeah.
We'll eat crow, something. They should have. Yeah. I don't think, and I think this is a problem. It's a Wade Phillips problem had this. Norv Turner had this, where they're phenomenal coordinators. And they become a head coach, and it looks like they don't know what to do. The guy with Cleveland.
Yeah.
That guy looks like he's never been a coach.
Yeah. Well, here's another good example. Dennis Allen, with that Saints defense, he's looking amazing, but his record shows he is not a good head coach.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I go, okay, maybe Fangio's just not a good head coach.
Yeah. But then that becomes a problem of, okay, now you've had 3 head coaches in 4 years.
See, I think, you know what I think happened? Well, I don't disagree with that. I hate that on the face of it because you got to give these guys some time to do it.
I agree.
I'm going, okay, do they go after Jay Gruden? I mean, in the offense, the defense can keep it. The defense can hang in games, but you can't expect any defense at all to stay out there as long as Denver's defense has been kept out.
Yeah.
3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. I don't care what defense you have. It just doesn't work that way. They are what I would consider a C+ offense with a B+ defense.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you got to at least get that C+ up into the B range.
Yeah.
To be able to compete.
I agree.
They've got to make I think they have to make some structural changes. Okay, this is the quarterback. We're going to go because Lindsey's good. I think he's pretty good, but he's small. He's going to get hurt, and it's going to be. I mean, he's even light. I heard somebody going, "Oh, he's like McCaffrey." I'm like, no, he's not like McCaffrey. McCaffrey's actually really strong.
Yeah,
for his size, he's really strong.
Yeah, I agree.
But I was going, okay, because then they have that other running back who's not bad.
Freeman.
They are not designed. This was this way last year when Keenum was there. They are not designed in any way, shape, or form to come back from 14 points down.
Nope.
And it seems to just get worse because it's like, okay, now we got to scramble. We got to try to throw a touchdown. Okay, now you got picked.
Yeah.
Now you're looking at being 17, 21 points down.
Yeah.
And that's what happens.
Yeah.
I don't blame Elway as much as I'm going, okay, I still don't know why they picked Fangio.
That always seemed weird to me. I was like, defense, you don't need a defensive guy. You need an offensive guy. I know, they can go get Josh McDaniels. That worked out so well the first time. So Chiefs get Tyreek Hill back. He's, stepping back in, and then they lose Mahomes. Mahomes was predicted to be out 3 to 4 weeks. They said they were going to be taking the utmost precautions with him. He did start practicing today, however, on today, Wednesday, so thought that was an interesting note. So we're going to move on to a matchup in the AFC South. We had the Houston Texans at the Indianapolis Colts.
This was a good game, man.
30-23. Yeah, this was a great game.
Good game. This was I had to go, oh, that's right. I picked the Texans.
Yeah.
I was going, oh, yeah, go. At one point, that was Brissett. I was going, run, get out of the pocket, get up. I'm like, no, hit him, tackle him.
Get a sack.
Yeah.
And you know what?
I'm telling you, of all the teams that I have watched for the last, I'd say, 10 years, when the number one guy goes out and the number one guy is touted as like one of the greatest of his generation, the next guy that comes in doesn't really do that much.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a fall off.
No.
There's been no fall off except maybe actual numbers, like literally just some numbers. They look good. They look solid. Brissett's the job. I'm just going. And
you know me. I love Brissett. So.
Well, that line, my gosh, that line is mean. That offensive line plays like a defensive line. I'm telling you.
Just a little bit.
It was funny because did you watch that game?
I didn't get to watch the whole game. I watched highlights. I'm probably going to go back at some. I have that marked. I have a list of games to go back at the end of the season and watch. That's like number 2 on my list.
Watch the broadcast version.
Okay.
Because they hit Brissett.
Mm-hmm.
And they what's that guy's name? The big offensive lineman from Notre Dame. Quentin Nelson grabs a hold of him, and I don't know who it is. It was a defensive lineman that shoved him. Grabs a hold of him and just heaves him. Which starts this brouhaha. And it's funny because they were going, any player on the field you can chip at.
Yep.
He goes, you can make comments about a head coach. You can even run into a head coach. If an owner's out on the field, you can even run into the owner, and that's okay. You go after a quarterback, all bets are off.
Right. I freaking love him.
It was a total, I don't want to say it was a cheap shot, but it was like one of those, you hit him, don't act like you weren't going to hit it. They were out of bounds when they hit it.
Yeah.
It was they ended up calling roughing passer, but it was one of those, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But I was going, when they said that, but that Quentin Nelson, and then the guy lines up right next to him. He's a violent blocker too. Just violent blockers.
He's so fun to watch.
So is the guy that's next to him. This is gonna be one of those. I forget the name of it's Fred Robinson. Remember how I always forget the guy for the Giants?
Yes.
Like, who's that guy? Who's that? Fred Robinson. I know that's who it is. Now I like committed it to memory. but the guy that's next to Nelson, he's a monster too.
Costanza.
Is that who it is?
Yeah, I think that's the name. Yeah.
They're monsters. I mean, just they're violent like a defensive lineman is violent.
Oh yeah. No, so these Houston Indy games, they are becoming fun to watch. The two last year were one where it came down to like overtime, fourth down. Was just a fantastic game. Yeah, these Houston Indy games are quickly becoming must-watch television for football.
Well, and I think Tennessee's going to be in trouble for the next few years because they're trying to figure out a quarterback situation.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, I still don't know why they're not winning more games. Okay, which you could say that's a quarterback problem as well. The Texans and the Colts right now, they're set at the quarterback position. They're set to where it's like, I think that's going to be the fight for that division.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. And it wasn't so much like neither team looked bad. It was just great game, division rivalry.
It turned down to the turnover.
Yeah.
That's what it came down to. It's like, wow, that's what you want to see.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a classic game. That's gonna, like I said, that's like number 2 on my list for games I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna watch the whole thing.
I'm hoping that by week 12 or something, people are talking more about Brissett because.
I hope so too.
You watch that game and you just go, he's as good as Watson.
Yeah.
There's nothing there that you're going, oh, Watson's just a way better quarterback. You're just going. You might be able to you can make an argument that Colts offensive line is better than the Texans defensive line.
Yeah.
Or I mean the Texans offensive line.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
You could say I think Marlon Mack's a better running back than what the Texans have. I mean you can make those arguments, but you can't make an argument that Watson's way better than Brissett.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Good game. It was a good game to watch.
It was.
I love it when I forget who I pick. That was
right.
Such a good game.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the Saints at Bears. Saints win 36-25. What were you saying?
That was just an embarrassment.
Yeah. Yeah. Now this is interesting. They've allowed more than 100 yards rushing, like if you combine all the rushing yards. However, the Saints have not allowed a single 100-yard rusher in 29 straight games. If you count playoffs, that's 34 straight games. So they've allowed more than 100 rushing, but no individual rusher has surpassed 100 yards. That is insane. That's crazy. I didn't believe it. I saw it on Twitter. And then the Saints had retweeted it. It was like, whoa.
I remember the Ravens and the Steelers had a record, something like that.
Yeah.
But theirs was like, I think, not a 100-yard rushing game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't
Bears,
realize that.
They got to get a quarterback situation figured out. They've got to get that quarterback situation solved.
Well, I don't disagree, but I also am going – Is this Mariota 2.0 happening? Because he just gets hurt.
Yeah.
He's just getting hurt.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you can't. I'm out for 2 games, week 5 and 6. Then I'll be out 2 games, week 13 and 14.
Yeah.
And expect to have growth. You just can't do it.
No. Which it's interesting that you said Mariota. I texted you this, and I've been telling some people about it. But so Marcus Mariota, as people know, was benched this last week in favor of Ryan Tannehill. And so most people think that this means that he was going to be a free agent already at the end of the year. Most people think this is assured, like he's done. So there's a lot of teams that actually they think are going to be interested in him. He's always been a fan favorite. You know, he's very nice guy, good guy. One thing about him is that his production in college and his athleticism was just exciting, especially his last season under then Oregon head coach Mark Helfrich. As the 2015 draft approached, there was a first-year GM that really, really wanted him. It was Ryan Pace, the current general manager of the Bears. He even tried to trade Jay Cutler and multiple picks to trade up from number 7 to number 2 that year. But neither team really. The other team was like, yeah, we don't really want that package. We're gonna. Titans said we're gonna stay at number 2. We're gonna pick Mariota. Now Chicago is trying to figure out their quarterback situation. You know, historic defense. They don't want that window shut because of a bad quarterback play. Now, just because a GM tried to go after him doesn't mean, you know, all these facts by themselves, they're just kind of whatever. But the Bears' offensive coordinator this year is Mark Helfrich, who was his college coach.
Right, but
the GM likes him as well. So there, I could see a potential of them maybe saying, you know what, we're going to sign him for a 1-2 year deal, prove it deal, and we may be moving on from Trubisky because by now it's his 3rd year. He's not growing. A lot of times you don't really see 4th or 5th year growth from a guy drafted that high.
Yeah, but you're trading one problem that you know for another one that Mariota is a proven injured guy every single year.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
I wouldn't invest in anybody that it routinely misses 3 games, especially at the quarterback position.
I agree.
The other thing I look at is I go, so he's going to put up 24 points?
Yeah. No, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you. I agree. I wouldn't pay that much for him anyway.
Isn't Trubisky Nagy's guy?
No, he was already there, I think.
Okay, so Nagy inherited him.
Yeah, Nagy inherited him.
Okay, so because that's what I think it's going to come down to.
Yeah.
So if Nagy wants him or not, that's what I think it's going to come down to.
Yeah.
I also just think there's more film on Trubisky now.
I think so too. I agree.
Sophomore, I know that he's not a sophomore, but it's that he's.
Well, and the thing is, I couldn't believe. I mean, you remember when they drafted him? I could not believe that they were taking the guy who only had 17 starts in college. He'd only appeared in 20-some college games.
Well,
why are you ever taking a guy that has that little experience at the college level?
Well, and I remember you talking about Watson. You said Watson should have went.
Oh, he should have been. I still contend that he should have been the top quarterback in that draft class. Patrick Mahomes.
Mahomes.
Yeah, no, honestly, him and Mahomes should be 1A, 1B. I only went with Watson because he had that championship leadership pedigree that Mahomes didn't.
Yeah.
And, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think Mahomes is great, but also I'm curious. We've seen a little bit how he's done. When he has that stud running back, that stud wide receiver, that stud tight end, he does great. Without that, you took that running back out, it wasn't quite as good. You took the wide receiver out, it wasn't quite as good. So how much of his numbers are a product of the system he's in? That happens everywhere. I'm not disputing that fact. I still stand by. I mean, you knew me. I loved Watson coming out of college.
Oh, well, now it's not even a conversation. No. Who would you rather have, Trubisky, Mahomes, or Watson? Trubisky's not even in the conversation.
No, it is strictly.
How did you?
Honestly, between Watson and Mahomes, it just comes down to personal preference. Honestly, because I think if you if they switch teams, I don't think you'd see that much difference.
Oh, see, I think Watson to me is more of a gunslinger.
Yeah.
That's the only not. He throws more picks because he runs more too. See, I don't.
It just comes down to what you prefer, honestly.
They're both gonna. Mahomes isn't gonna lose you a game. I've seen games where the Texans have lost because he's thrown 3 picks.
Yeah.
Mahomes just doesn't throw that many interceptions. That's the thing. And normally I'd go, well, he's got Tyreek Hill, but on the flip side, he's got DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins. That's a wash. That's a wash. That's not advantage one guy over the other.
Yeah.
I just if you take everything remaining equal, I would take Mahomes. But if you plugged Mahomes into Houston's offense, I think Houston would have went to the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah.
If you plug Watson into Kansas City's offense, I don't think they won their division last year.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, who knows?
He's phenomenal. I think that generation of guys, it's Watson. It's Watson Mahomes. I think Jackson might end up being up in that.
Yeah.
Conversation.
If he keeps playing how he has been.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So that's a little bit of discussion on the Saints Bears. Drew Brees practiced. I believe he practiced today, and he's talking like he's going to play this week. Who knows? That'll be interesting to see how they handle that.
They can.
Yeah. They see. That's my thing too. Like, you don't need him right now. Rest him. Get him healthy.
Rich, I mean, if ever you wanted a guy to come in and go, don't lose us a game, it's this guy. It's Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah.
And I thought he would lose him games. I remember I was like, they're going to go 1-4 in this thing. That's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
That defense, my gosh.
Yeah.
That defense is just.
They're playing great.
Oh, yeah, they are.
I have a friend who he is a Vikings fan. He lived there for years, and I was talking to him about Bridgewater, and he was saying, "Oh man, Minnesota fans, they loved him. They were so bummed with what happened to the injury." So you got a lot of Saints fans in Minnesota right now, not because of the Saints, but because they're rooting for Bridgewater. And I mean, he was, they liked him. They were bummed they moved on from him. But I think Saints are pretty happy that they moved on from him because. Oh yeah. Because I mean, and you weren't alone. There were a lot of people. It's over. Sorry, Saints. This year's done.
Well, I just went. You're not putting up 24 to 35 points a game.
No, and they don't have to because that defense is shutting teams down.
But did you think that defense was gonna step up that much?
No,
I did not.
No.
I was like going, these guys are playing like every game's the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, last week they had no Kamara.
Yeah.
If I was to tell you the beginning of the year, they're going to play the Jets. They're going to play Chicago in Chicago. They're not going to have Breeze or Kamara. Who are you going to take? You to win? The Bears.
Oh, I wouldn't even hesitate.
I know. That's what
Bears, and I'm betting my house on the Bears.
Yeah, that's what.
So I'm living on the street now.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to NFC North matchup. The Vikings at Detroit. Vikings won 42-30. Cousins is looking like the $84 million man they wanted him to be. Detroit lost their running back, Kerryon Johnson. They placed him on injured reserve yesterday, I believe it was. He had a procedure done on I think it was the knee. Vikings seem to have figured out whatever was going on and gotten rid of it.
I know. Well, the loss of Thielen, I don't know how many games he's going to be out.
See, they're talking like they're going to try and see if he's good to go for Thursday night. I'm thinking you're playing the Redskins. Don't risk him. I'm trying to remember. Is that in? Okay, I was going to say, if it's at Washington, oh, heck no. Don't even contemplate playing him with that field.
It's
in Minnesota. I don't think they should play him.
No, I would let him rest.
Let him rest, get healthy.
Yep.
In Detroit, they traded their starting safety Quandre Diggs to the Seahawks, team captain. He was pretty shocked. He's still not sure what.
I thought when that happened, I went, "Oh my gosh, did they get Penny or one of these other running backs?"
I think it was going to be something like that.
They didn't. I was like, what? Okay.
Yeah. So that was kind of a shocking move. And it's funny because the first thing I saw trending was Diggs, and so you have all these Seahawks fans like, oh my gosh, we got Stephon Diggs, and then they see it's not. They're all mad. I was just cracking up. Oh man, I texted one of my Seahawks buddies. Yeah, he just sent me back middle finger emoji. But so yeah, Vikings get the pretty convincing win, 42-30. Flipping over to the two teams we just talked about, Quandre Diggs got traded to Baltimore at Seattle. Ravens win 30-16. They win because they got 14 points off the defense. Pick six, and then my personal favorite, a scoop and score.
And a missed field goal.
Yeah, and a missed field goal.
But that was a run happy. All I know is this. I haven't seen a guy. I remember Kaepernick was kind of like this, but there were some plays where Jackson was so pissed that his guys weren't getting open.
Yeah.
He just ran with the ball, and he was able on one play to kind of sidestep fall. Otherwise, he would have went head on into Bobby Wagner.
Yeah.
And I was going,
nobody wants to do that.
Man, that could injure this season.
Yeah.
Get hit by Bobby Wagner going across the middle.
Yeah. Nobody wants to do that.
I was going, if I'm Harbaugh, I'm going, look, I love this, but we're screwed if you get hurt. We are done. We are done if you get hurt.
Yeah.
But he was out there, man. And him and Russell Wilson was like, which guy's going to scramble? Oh, they both scrambled.
Right.
Yeah, that was a good game. And it was it was a running game with the defenses, which is what we thought they were.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, nice little Dennis Green there coming out. They are who we thought they were. All right, sorry. That's one of them. That's like
they were who we thought they were.
Did we let them off the hook? So moving on to the Sunday night game, classic NFC East matchup, Philadelphia Eagles.
That was an ass whooping.
Yeah.
That was the Carson Wentz shouldn't even be on the field this year.
I was watching the folks. I was watching the game with my folks, and I mentioned that, and they're just kind of like, "Yep."
Well, so this week they play the Bills, so we might see MVP Carson Wentz. Who knows?
Yeah, and it's just, and you know what's funny? Every single person that I've told that to, their first initial reaction is no, and then about 2 seconds they're like, "Oh yeah, you're kind of right." Like I know he is.
When they win, he's looking incredible.
Yeah, exactly.
When they lose, it looks like he goes, "I'm gonna throw left-handed this game." What do you think about that?
He did not look incredible.
No.
He did not look incredible.
Well, and Dallas was running the ball.
Yeah.
That was the thing. I don't know. I don't listen to anything in Dallas. I don't have their news or anything like that. But it looked like Elliott was running like someone said, "Look, you're overpaid, man."
Yeah. No, I agree.
He was running
the play of the game for me though. It was one because we were flipping back and forth between a couple other things in the game. I want to say it was like it wasn't a touchdown. It set up a touchdown like 2 plays later. Dak threw. Cooper kind of just ran a go route down the left side, and he just floated it. Yeah. And at first, when I'm watching, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, he's just letting that thing just linger up there." And then it comes down. And I'm like, "Oh, he was letting him get under it." Dang, that was a great throw. That was man. I went back and I actually watched that play a couple times. It was like, that's a beautifully designed play. What happened? Did Miami wear cowboy uniforms and play the Jets on Sunday last week? I mean, what happened here?
No, I think, to be perfectly honest with you, every year a team overlooks a team.
Yep. Oh, I completely agree.
And it's usually when they come off of just a brutal game, they'll go, "Oh, we're playing the Jets," and this is the other part. So they go from turf to grass. Mm-hmm. They're going to win. I mean, we both thought that there's no chance the Jets were going to win.
No.
I thought it was going to be probably a 21-point swing.
Yeah.
And Darnold looked like he was just on fire out there. And the other part of that is they couldn't get that. About midway through the fourth quarters when Elliott started to he started getting the running game going.
Yeah.
And you go, if they had played 5 more minutes, I think Dallas could have scored 14
I think so.
points. But
I think so.
And it was when the owner comes out and says, I don't think we're as good as a 10-win team.
Mm-hmm.
You're going, oh, really? Oh, really?
Right. But Dallas got the pretty convincing win.
Yes.
Then going to the Monday night game. So the Jets, as great as they looked last week against the Cowboys, decided, hey, we don't need to show up. And 24-0 before halftime.
Tell me the looks on Darnold's face.
Oh, he was seeing ghosts. He said it on the broadcast. I'm seeing ghosts.
That didn't equate to Belichick called him before the game and said, I have your wife.
Right.
You need to throw 3 picks.
You want to get mono again?
3 picks or she's gone. I was just
and hey, just to be safe, he threw 4.
Well, and here's the other thing I've noticed so far about New England's defense. Some of these picks that they're getting are good catches. Yeah. I mean, you're just going, it's a Xavier Howard type interceptions.
Yeah.
Where you're going, okay, defensive backs don't normally catch that ball.
No.
That's like a stud top 5 wide receiver catching that ball.
Yeah. I mean, I'm loving this defense. Every week I'm just you'll get they haven't played anybody. You know what? They're playing who they got scheduled.
No, they're still NFL teams.
Exactly.
I agree
100%.
That division is weak.
Yes.
Compared to everybody else.
Yeah.
That being said, they're going to have a run. Is Philadelphia that good? I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
They beat the Packers and then got their ass handed to them by the Cowboys. Yeah. I don't know how good they are. What about Cleveland? I saw Cleveland beat Baltimore like they were school kids.
Yeah.
They play the Patriots they got Cleveland this week. Then they have Baltimore. Then they have Philadelphia. Then I think they have Dallas. And then they have the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And you go, that's a 5-game stretch that if you scheduled it last year, people would be going, oh, sticking it to the Patriots. Yeah, that's
right.
Go right. It's like, okay, so they're going to be 7-0 going through that thing. That's pretty awesome.
Right.
Still, and nobody thought going into this season that you'd have 2 0-7 teams right now, and then both played the Patriots.
Right.
Nobody thought Mike was going to be 0-7, and nobody thought the Redskins were going to be 0-7.
No. So this is hilarious. This is from Fantasy Football Today. Through 7 weeks, Joe Mixon, Odell Beckham Jr., and Juju Smith-Schuster combined have 141.2 points. The Patriots defense has 150. So they have allowed the Patriots defense this season have allowed 18 points. They themselves have scored 20 points.
What about how's that equating to the Niners defense? Because the Niners are undefeated and no one's scoring points on them either.
No.
I know that New England's getting a lot of hype right now, but I'm going.
I think the Niners have 9 interceptions or something throughout the year so far. We have 18 interceptions through 7 games. We had 14 going into this week, and we got 4 more tonight or Monday night. I think that's why they're getting the hype, is because their statistics are they're not.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's when you go, okay, look at what the Niners have done though against much higher quality teams.
Yeah.
Well, and then we'll see if the Patriots beat the Browns as bad as the Niners beat the Browns. Then it's like, okay, I'm going to put the Patriots defense above the Niners defense.
Yeah.
The Niners defense right now, they're shutting people down.
Yeah. So this is just the linebacker core, just because they're the group getting all the hype right now because they nicknamed the Boogeyman and stuff. They have 17 sacks, 137 tackles, 18 tackles for loss, 31 quarterback hits, 5 forced fumbles, 4 interceptions, 3 touchdowns, and 3 fumble recoveries, and a safety.
Okay, but let me. That's impressive.
Yeah,
that's impressive. But let me ask you this: if the Steelers' defense had those numbers, and they played the Bengals, the bad Browns, bad Ravens team, or decent Ravens team, and then they played Washington, New York, would you be going, that's the best defense in the NFL?
No.
Same numbers and everything. Because you would instantly go, they haven't had that hard of a schedule. If that's
I fully acknowledge that we haven't had that hard of a schedule.
No, but I don't think
I'm also looking at what this defense did in the Super Bowl, because it's pretty much the same guys minus Trey Flowers, add Jamie Collins, which I'll take that trade any day. The way they're playing right now. When people, because I've had people, oh, you haven't played them, and I say, yes, I know we haven't played any. We haven't played the good teams. However, we have played NFL teams. Because I agree with that.
Yeah, it's still NFL. It's still
exactly.
NFL.
You're still NFL.
Now here's my ding, my only ding on that, because it's the NFL teams. They've played 3 rookie quarterbacks.
Something like that, yeah.
And 2 second-year quarterbacks.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going. Okay, but that's not tackles.
No.
I'm going interceptions. I'm going, okay, that's
yeah.
But because I know Buffalo's defense is really good. They look really good.
Most statistics, it goes New England, 49ers, Bills.
49ers going to have just because they're undefeated too. Well, both of them. They're going to have these number gaps. Yeah. So we'll see. That 5-game, that's a brutal 5-game stretch.
Oh, I agree.
They got 3 of them at home, and what I'm interested to see is, I either think the Ravens are going to beat them by 3, or the Patriots are just going to annihilate the Ravens. I think it's going to be.
I vote that one.
I think it's either going to be really close, and if it's just running the ball, possession of the ball, I'm going advantage Baltimore.
Oh yeah.
If they can keep without passing the ball, because that's where you look at New England. That's where that defense is kicking ass, is those interceptions. And they're making these plays where it just reminds me. I remember that year with Newton. I've said this before. When they went to the Super Bowl, it was like 70-some-odd% of his, when he got the ball, he was in the opponent's territory.
Yeah.
And then you go, okay, so Newton was MVP. You're going to give Tom Brady that short field?
Right.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Let's just erase that out of your chance of winning.
Right.
It is the Dallas game. That's the other one. But it's at home, and I'm going, okay, that's going to be, because I think of all those teams that they're playing, Dallas is the most well-rounded team.
Yeah.
But they will be at home. The Patriots will be at home. So I will default advantage Patriots.
Yeah.
But that I think is going to be that just from right now, that's going to be, I think, the hardest game for them, because who's worried about the Ravens' pass offense?
No
that
one.
tight end of theirs dropped.
Yeah.
4 passes. 4 passes where you just go, okay, I understand it's raining, but you're the only one dropping these passes.
Right. So this is interesting, just to add on before we get to our picks for the week, just because we had that little discussion earlier about Deshaun Watson. So Raiders head coach John Gruden was asked about this week's game versus Watson and the Texans. He says, I get accused of liking everybody. You know that. But if you don't like Deshaun Watson, you don't like anybody. You're a miserable human being if you don't like that kid. And to my shame, as I'm reading that in my head, I'm reading it in John Gruden's voice. But yeah, so that might actually be an interesting game to watch.
Hey, if I'm any team, I would not sleep on the Raiders.
No.
That's one of those. Of all the teams right now, I would not sleep on the Raiders.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've lost some games that you go, the ball bounced left when it could have bounced right.
Yeah. All right, so we're moving on to our picks now. We're going to start with the Thursday night game, Redskins at Vikings. I'm pretty sure this one's unanimous. We're going Vikings. Then we have we talked about this a little bit earlier. We have Eagles at Bills.
No,
I'm going with the Bills.
Okay, we'll go that one first. Okay, Eagles and Bills. Okay.
Yeah, I have the Bills.
I'm taking the Bills as well.
And then we have the Panthers at Niners.
I'm taking the Niners.
Yep, me as well. Browns at Patriots. I'm taking the Patriots.
That one's not gonna. I'm gonna be surprised if the Browns beat the Patriots. But if there is any upset this week, I think that would be the upset.
Yeah, I don't know. No,
but you know what I'm saying?
At home. It's at home.
That's what I'm saying. If there's an upset that happens where people are like, what?
Yeah.
It's going to be that game.
I agree.
Is anybody going to go, oh my gosh, the Dolphins beat the Steelers?
Yeah, just because the Dolphins are 0-7.
No, but they're going to go. People will be going, oh my gosh. Because here's what will happen. So if the Redskins beat the Vikings, because that's another one that you look like.
We know this week is going to be pandemonium.
Well, no, they'll go, okay, it's just Cousins. Yeah. They'll blame on Cousins, and then there'll be this little same kind of. If the Dolphins beat the Steelers, they'll go. The headline won't be Steelers lose to the Dolphins, or it'll be Steelers lose to the Dolphins.
Yeah.
If the Browns beat the Patriots, it'll be
Baker beats Brady.
Are they really going to the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
It will be just this, and that's why I'm saying I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't either.
But I'm saying if there is an upset this weekend, that would be that would be the upset.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be overly shocked if the Panthers beat the Niners.
I'm not either. So moving on to the Sunday night game, we have the Green Bay Packers at the Kansas City Chiefs. I am going with the Packers.
So am I. 3 weeks ago, I would have taken the Chiefs.
Very much so. Very much so.
With the Packers. I actually think this might be one of those 34-13 games.
Yeah.
Where the Packers just keep marching down the field, score.
Yeah. Well, and they have here's the thing. They have a good running back, and the Chiefs' running defense is terrible.
Yeah, well, they got there's not a when you look at I think the Packers are the most complete team in the NFL right now. Their defense isn't that much better than their offense. Their offense isn't that much better than their defense. Especially, they're just all around solid. Good running game, good passing game, good defense, good mix of sacks.
Valdez Scantling or whatever his name is, he's fun to watch. He's a good receiver. And then we have the Monday night game, Miami Dolphins at Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm taking the Steelers.
So am I.
So we don't disagree.
No.
And we are only picking one road team to win.
Yep.
All right. Let's hope we get it right and not go 3-4. All right.
So if we go 3-4, all hell's broken loose.
Right.
No, because if we go 3-4, which one of those teams lose? Which 4 of those teams that we picked lose?
Oh wait, no, we're only picking 6, so we'll go 3-3, or 2-4.
So make it even harder to go 3-4.
Yeah.
Stupid math.
All right. So thanks for tuning in. Be sure to follow us on Facebook at the Kyle and Not Kyle Show and subscribe to our YouTube channel here. Leave your own picks in the comments, and we'll see you next time.